Hello friends, I am Neshik from blogtut.com, and today in this video I'll teach you how to create a beautiful and professional sliders for your WordPress website. Now the best thing about this is that we'll be using a free plugin to create it. We'll be using an absolutely free plugin to create these sliders. Also, this plugin has many pre-made and ready to import slider templates which are all mobile and tablet friendly. So without wasting any time, let's see how we can do this. So first of all, to create these sliders we need a new plugin, and to get that plugin, come to your dashboard. From the left hand side, hover over plugins and click on add new. Now over here search for Smart Slider. You will get this plugin Smart Slider 3 by Nextend. Install and activate this plugin. This is an amazing plugin. As you can see, this has more than 500,000 active installations, more than 700 or maybe 750 5-star rating. Last updated 2 weeks ago and compatible with your latest version of WordPress. So you just have to install and activate this plugin. And once you do that, you will see a new option at the left hand side, Smart Slider. Click on that option. Now over here by default you will see one slider will be automatically created for you. I've created few more, but you will see this one slider, sample slider, will always be created for you. So you can simply go ahead, click on edit, and you can see this slider will be created for you. If you want, you can make some changes in this slider. Go to slide 1. This is how your slide 1 will look like. You can go to slide 2, make some changes over there as well. Now again, if you come back to dashboard, you have one more option. You have this option template library. So if you want, there are many pre-made professional sliders, and if you want them on your website, you just have to click on one single button and everything will be imported on your website. Let me show you an example. For example, if I click on this button or if I click on this option template library, you will see there are so many different sliders available over here. Some are free, some are premium. Now all those with this badge free obviously is free one. So as you can see, this is also free slider. So if you want to import this slider, you will simply hover this and click on import, and this slider will be successfully imported for you. As you can see, this is the setting page. You can see this of sliders, different sliders. This is slider 1, and if you come back to this option, you will see there are slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. So all the different slides are successfully imported for you. And if you want to make some changes on slide 1, you can simply click on this edit button. You'll see this slide. If you want to make some changes, just click on that and make some changes over there. Now I'll show you everything from scratch. I'll show you how you can create your own amazing slider from scratch. And for this example, we'll be using this slider. As you can see, this is an amazing slider, very good looking slider, and we'll be using this free plugin to create this. So as you can see, first of all, in the background we have this gradient background, which means that it is a combination of two different color. Then on top of that, we'll be using this title, subtitle, this call to action button, and we'll be using this image. Then we'll be creating another slide, and very similar slide but a slight change in the design of the button. So let's see how we can create this one. So for that, you'll come back over here, click on slider, a smart slider from the left hand side. Now obviously to create a new slider, you'll click on this green button or green option, new slider. Now you have to fill in this thing. So first of all, your slider name. So we can just name it anything. For example, in this example, I want to name it slider 10. So I'll name it slider 10 over here. Then after that, we have to select a width and height. So it can be anything. In this example, I'm selecting 1400 pixels width and maybe 500 pixels height. Now how do you want this to be? Default slider or full width slider or thumbnail slider? Now I want to create a full width slider. For example, as you can see in this demo website, this is a full width slider. So we'll be using this option, full width slider. If you want, you can also import a sample slider from here as well. I don't want to do that. I can simply click on this green button, create. Then after that, a new slider, empty slider will be created for you. Now we have to create a new slide. So for that, you will click on this option, add slide. Now they will ask you what slide do you want to create, image slide, video slide, or do you want to display your post or the different blog posts that you have written on your website. Do you want to create a slider for that? Or maybe if you want to create a slider for static overlay or dynamic slider. So in this example, we'll be doing everything from scratch. So we'll select this option, empty slider. Click on this option. A new slide will be created for you. First of all, just click on save. Now if you see at the top under slider 10, which is our slider, one new slide is created, slide 1. Now let's see how we can make some changes over here. So on this page, I would recommend you to zoom out a little bit. So I'm zooming out this thing to 90%. On your main website, when you come back to your main website, you can always see this website in 100% view. But on this example, I would recommend you to see this in 90% zoom. Alright guys, now the first thing that we have to do is we have to give it a background. So to give it a background, you will have to select this option, background option. First of all, if you want, you can insert an image in the background, or if you want to insert a color, you can select this option. Then after that, you can select any color from here. For example, if you want red color, you can select this option. If you want some other color, you can select this option. If you want to make it gradient like we have done in this website, you can do that as well. You can select this option and you can select what kind of gradient you want. So left to right, right to left, horizontal, vertical, all the different types of gradient are available. I'm selecting this option, left to right. Now you have to select what colors do you want to in this option. So in the first color option, I want to select this color 00B6C3FF. Now as you can see, this is how your slider will look like. And for the right hand side, as you can see over here at the right hand side, we don't have any color. So at the right hand side, I want to use this color 90ED87FF, and your background will look something like this. Then after that, again you can click on save. Now after this thing, first thing I want to do is I want to create two different columns, because if you see the demo slider, in the left hand side we have a column, and in this column we have this title, subtitle and call to action button, and in the right column we have this image. So we'll do that thing first. So for that, you will click on this option, you will click on this structure button. You will get this option, what kind of structure you want. So we'll select this option, two columns. Now as you can see, two columns are created on your website. Now in the first column, in the left column, first thing that we want is this title, start a profitable online store. So for this, you will select this option H, which stands for heading layer. So just click on that, drag and drop this option over here, just like this. Now you can change this title. So for this, I want the title to be start a profitable. And now to design this thing, to style this thing, we can do one thing. We can go to this option, second option, which is style, or which is design, and here you can see there are many different options. First of all, we can change the font family. By default, it is Roboto. For this example, I want to select this option, which is at the bottom, Varela, round, whatever it is, just select this option. You can change the color of this text if you want. If you want to make it red, green, blue, you can do that. I want to keep it white, so I'm selecting white. And I also want to increase the size of this button, so I'll select this option, size. I'll make it 62 pixels, okay, just like this. And we also want to make it left align, so I'll select this option, left align, okay. Now this is how your first text will look like. Now what we can do is, because our second text is also very similar, in fact the same style, only the text is different, we can just right click on this, or we can just hover over this and click on this button. This will duplicate this layer, okay, just like this. Now we can click on the second option and we can just change the text, and we can enter this text, online store. Okay, now as you can see, we have successfully created two different layers. Then after that, for the third layer, we again want to use this heading. So we'll select this option, drag and drop at the bottom. Now for this text, we have to type in this thing. So let me do that. I'll come over here. I'll select this option, online store, and I'll type in this thing. Okay, now because it is applying the same style, it is looking quite bigger, but we'll change this thing. So go to design. Now let's change the size of this one, obviously. So for this, instead of 62, I want to make it 22. Okay, this is how it will look like. Now I want to add some margin at top, so that we have some space over here at top of this option. So for that, you will see this option, padding. You can add some padding, or you can add some margin. You can also add some padding, for example 10 or 20 pixels padding. Now as you can see, it has added some gap at top of this text. Now let's add this button. Okay, so this button. So for that, we'll do one thing, we'll select this option this time, button layer, drag and drop this at the bottom. This is how your default button will look like. First of all, you have to change the label, or you have to change the text which is written on the button. So I'll type in download now. Now we have to style this thing. So for that, we'll go to design and we'll change this again to this text, Varela round. Increase the size of this text to 20 pixels. Okay, this is how it will look like. And now let's design this thing. So to design this thing, you have to scroll down. You have to increase the border radius. So when you increase the border radius, this will become a circular button. As you can see on your screen, this has now become a circular button. And we also have to change the background color of this button. So maybe if you want to make it white, you can select white. Now because the text color was also white, we can see that this text is now disappeared. So we have to change the text color. So instead of white, maybe I can select this color. Okay, this is how it will look like. Now we can make it left align. So if you select this option, text align, it will not do any changes over here. So for that, you have to click on this gear icon, go to settings and change the position to left. Okay, like this. Now as you can see, there is very little gap between this button and this about text. So we have to add some margin at top of this button. Now under this option you will see margin is given over here. Now we have to add some margin at top, but if you add anything over here, for example if you add 10 pixels, 10 pixels margin will be added from all sides. So let me first make it 0. If you want to make 10 pixels only for top, you have to delink this thing. This is right now linked. Click on this option. Now as you can see we have 4 options. So the first option is top, then right, bottom and left. We want to add some margin at top, so we'll select the first option. Make it maybe 30 pixels. Okay, like this. Now in the left hand side we want to add an image, so I'll select this image layer, drag and drop it over here. Click on this image and let's select this image. Select it, click on select. This image will be present over here. Now if you want to use this image, I have given a link in the video description below. If you click on that link, you can download this image for free. Now because we have added this image, now as you can see this text looks like it is all going at the top and we have a lot of space at the bottom. I want this content in the middle. So for that you can hover this, you will see this option column, COL. Click on that. Okay, now you'll see an option like this, and here you'll see vertical align. By default it is at top, make it middle or make it center. Okay, it will look something like this. Now you can click on save, and with this your first section or your first slider is now complete. Now there are few things left. For example, we don't have any gap at left and right, so we must have some gap at left and right so that this looks good. So for that you can do one thing, you can click on any layer. For example, you can click on this image, or maybe if you want you can click on this title. You can click on any layer, and when you click on this layer you will see this layer. You will see this option content, then row. So by default it is content, which is this entire section. Then in this content we have added a row. Then in that row we have added 2 different columns, and in every single column we are adding different layers. So you can do one thing, you can click on this option content. Click on content. When you click on content, everything will be selected, which means this entire canvas will be selected. Now for the desktop I want to do one thing, I want to add some padding from the left hand side, okay, from this side. So I'll select this padding option, I will delink this option, and as I have explained you earlier, first it is top, right, bottom, left. So we'll select this 4th option and we'll make it maybe, let's make it 100 pixels. Okay, now as you can see we have some space from the left hand side. Now I can click on this save button. Now once you have created a slide, you have to make it mobile and tablet friendly. So let's see how this slide. So this slide right now looks great on desktop, but we also have to make sure that this thing looks good on mobile phone and also on tablet. So first let's select tablet. So click on this tablet icon which is given at the top. Now as you can see this is how it will look on a tablet. So I think we can make some changes over here. So select the first text. This is the one, start a profitable. Now you have to go to this option, this gear icon, go to gear icon, and you will see this option. Go to this setting option and you will see this adaptive sizing on this thing, and for this font size modifier, make it 80%, or maybe let's make it 60%. Okay, this is how it will look like. Select the second text, make it maybe 80%. Select this text, third text, make it 60 or 80, whatever you like. Select that option. Now again similarly select this button, make it 80%. Always make sure that this thing is on adaptive sizing. Okay, for this also always make sure that this thing is all on adaptive sizing. Now let's go back to mobile phone. So we will select mobile phone, and this is how it looks on a mobile phone. So here also we have to do some changes. So first of all, I don't want this 100 pixels padding at the left hand side. So I'll go to content, I'll click on content, and we'll go to this option, and here as you can see we have added 100 pixels. I'll just click on this delink button, and this is how it will look like. You just have to make everything 10, okay, like this. Now select this option, first text. Let's change the size. So go to this option design, or go to this option settings. Make sure adaptive setting is on, and let's make it maybe 45. Okay, 45 looks good. And also make it center align for mobile phone. So you can select this option position center. Okay, select the second text, make it position center, and change the font size modifier to 45. Select the third text, make it center. Select the font size modifier to maybe 45. Let's see, yeah, 45. Select this button, make it bring it in the center, and let's change this to 60. Okay, this is how it will look on a mobile phone. Now let's come back to tablet. This is how it looks on a tablet. Come back to your desktop. Okay, so this is how it will look on a desktop. I think desktop and tablet, I think we have made some mistake over here. Okay, so it looks good on a tablet, but on desktop we have to do some changes. So come back to desktop, select the first option under adaptive sizing, make it 100%. Okay, and make sure over here when you hover this, you make sure that this option is tick mark. Okay, this option, this first option, desktop option is tick mark. Select the second text, make it 100%, and again make sure this option is tick mark. Select the third text, 100%, button 100%. Okay, this will make your slider mobile friendly. Okay, now again if you go to mobile phone, it looks good. Again if you come to desktop, it looks good on desktop as well. Now you can save this option. Now once you have created one slide, you can simply copy this slide or you can duplicate this slide and you can create your next slide. So let's see how you can do that. So for that, click on this option slider 10 or whatever slider name you have given. Click on this option. Now over here, as you can see, we have created this slide 1. Now click on this 3 dots icon, option button, and select this option, duplicate. Now a new slider will be duplicated, slide 1, copy. Click on edit for the copy option. Now we can change the content over here. First of all, I want to change this image, so I'll click on this image. I'll replace this image with this one. Now I'll select this text and we'll use this text, create a masterful. So I'll just type in this thing. And for this second text, I want to type in business website. So I'll select this option. Okay, and for the button, I want to change the color of the button. So I'll select this button, change the background color to maybe this color, not the text color. Text color will be white and background color is over here, so background color will be this color. Okay, so if you want, you can make some changes like this, and after that click on save. Now because we have duplicated this slide, it will be automatically mobile friendly. So for like this, you can create your first slider. So as you can see, when you come back, your slider is now created. Now if you want, you can do some changes over here. For example, if you come back to this option, you have some settings over here. So how do you want to display these arrows? How do you want to display, if you want to display some bullets, you can have some bullets as well. Or if you want to make it some other options, you have, if you want to enable autoplay, you can do that as well. Now first of all, before we see those settings, let's see how we can display this slider on our home page or any page wherever you want. So for that, you can click on this, you can copy this shortcode. Okay, and you can paste it anywhere you want to display it. For example, you can create a new page. Let me create a new page very quickly. I'll name it demo slider. Then after that, you have to click on this button and search for shortcode. Okay, select this option, paste in this shortcode, click on publish. Now let's view this page. Okay, now as you can see, this is how your slider is looking. Now if you want to make some changes, for example, this is the animation, slide animation, and the second thing, if you see, it is not autoplay right now, so it will not automatically change. And the third thing I want to do is I want to disable these arrows. So I want to show these arrows only when my mouse cursor is on this slider, and when my mouse cursor is not on this slider, I don't want to show these arrows. So let's do these changes. So first of all, come back to your settings, scroll down, and what kind of arrows do you want, like this or this option? So by default it is selected the third option, and I want to select that option as well. Now if you want to make some changes over here, you can do that as well. I want to display this option only on hover, so I can enable this thing. Now if you save this page, come back over here, refresh it. Now as you can see, those arrows at left and right are not showing, but when I bring my mouse cursor on this, and now as you can see, these arrows are now showing both at left and right. And when I again move my mouse cursor from that, arrows are now gone. Now the second thing that we want to do is we want to change the animation. So go to general, and as you can see, main animation by default it is horizontal. If you want, you can select fade, and you can also change the duration. If you select fade and click on save, come over here, refresh the page. Now if you see the animation, okay, as you can see, animation is now changed. And the third thing that we want to do, if you want to autoplay this thing, go to autoplay and simply enable this option and click on save. Now if you refresh this option, this will automatically change after some interval, and you can control that time interval from here. As you can see, by default it is 8000 milliseconds. If you select 1000 milliseconds, that will be 1 second. Alright guys, so with this tutorial is completed. I just wanted to let you guys know that there is a free plugin using which you can create beautiful sliders. And I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you find this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any future updates. If you find this video helpful, give a thumbs up to this video, share this with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. I would really appreciate if you do that. And throughout the video, if you have any doubts, any comments, any suggestions for me, you can leave them in the comments section below. Thanks a lot for watching this video guys. See you in the next one.